Hello, everybody. It's Patricia Coughlin here, and I wanted to continue the discussion about the importance of dealing with feelings and defenses and resistances against those feelings in the transference relationship. In the last video, we talked about how doing this, right, being aware of, picking up, and then inviting all the feelings and impulses coming up toward you, the therapist, in the transference, seems to be the most rapid and reliable means for unlocking the unconscious and getting to the unresolved past. Who you have come to represent will become very clear. So that is the first reason that we want to deal with these feelings as soon as they appear, right? There are two other reasons. We talked about that by bringing up those feelings in the transference and getting the link to the genetic figure who you've come to represent is going to prevent the development of a transference neurosis, which can be difficult, if not impossible, to resolve. So that ties into the third reason that you want to deal with these feelings as soon as they become apparent. And that is so that you become more and more who you actually are, a helpful person on the patient's side, there to facilitate healing. So when feelings coming up towards you are being defended against, they are going to become a barrier to the work. So by inviting those feelings to be experienced and expressed in fantasy, right? Again, we're going to facilitate the therapeutic process and open up the unconscious. And as that happens, and you're going to make the links on the triangle of person, right? So they're going to say, yeah, I felt really angry with you. You were seeming, I'm thinking of a particular example, another woman who is, demanding and putting pressure on me, just like my mother, right? So there's that link between the transference and the past, right? So memories will come up about how that happened in the past and directly experiencing feelings then toward the genetic figure. And often spontaneously, the patient will then see how they have been playing out this dynamic in their current life. So they'll get all three corners of that triangle of person. Yeah, my mother, you, and my wife, right? All you demanding women, right? And all of my anger towards you, right? Which has been filled with guilt, because I also love you, and has gone into a punitive system, right, of depression and pain and so on in this particular case. So as we went over that, and we did so a couple of times, I'm thinking about this case in which the person had come for trial therapy. So we had 2 sessions in the morning, 2 sessions in the afternoon, 3 days in a row. And so on the first day, he was guarded and putting up defenses which operated as a resistance. I pointed that out and put him at choice whether he wanted to continue, right, to hide and keep a distance, or was willing to open up. He felt really angry, and we were able to help him experience that and get in touch with the impulses toward me. Again, then it linked to the mother and also to his wife. This happened again in the second session, more about wife and me. And then in the third session, the third day, he was able to very clearly make distinctions. So he was able to see this link that in his mind, right, all women, mother, me, wife, were these critical, demanding figures who were impossible to please. And on the third day, he said, yeah, you, my mother, and my wife, but you, when you put pressure on me, it was to help me. It was for my benefit. But my mother always put this pressure on me for her own needs, and so did my wife. So first you're going to link those people on the triangle of person, and then begin to distinguish between them, so that again you become separated from, you are no longer just like the mother, for example, right? But they begin to see you as separate and different, and who you really are, someone who is there to help you. So again, not only is this transference neurosis in which you are really seen, right, as the primary figure, and the patient becomes to some extent obsessed with you. You're the most important person in the world to them, right? You're really beginning to get separated from that and seen in a realistic way as someone who is helping them to resolve their issues, get free, and have a life of their own. So this is the other really, really important reason that you want to deal with the patient's feelings and thoughts and fantasies about you as soon as possible, because though the transference is a distorting force, it's seeing you not as you, right, but as somebody from the past. So by dealing with that and getting to who this is really about, again, you become who you actually are without distortion. And that, again, will facilitate both the therapeutic process, but also then making the termination much less complicated and fraught. You're someone who's been helpful to them. You've had a meaningful journey together. They're very grateful to you and also sad about saying goodbye. But it's a much less complicated situation than in those cases in which you have really become the central figure and a transference neurosis had developed. So I hope this is clear to you. And again, that you're clear about the why you want to prioritize feelings, impulses, fantasies, and defenses against the same in the relationship with you, right? There are all kinds of good reasons to be clearing that up as soon as possible. So I invite your comments and questions, and we'll talk next time.